Hello there, interwebs. I am the Bechtloff, and this is, of course, my podcast. Been a while since I've done another podcast. About a month, actually. The holidays and busy at the day job and all. Just haven't had time. But a couple of people have really been riding my ass to do a full podcast again, so here it is. First thing, I guess, to talk about. My dad has been pestering me to go see American Sniper with him. Now, my dad and I see movies a lot together. It's just since I was a little kid. That's just been something we do together. But I have no interest in seeing this movie. I really don't. I don't give a shit about Chris Kyle. I really fuck Chris Kyle. I don't care. It's not something I particularly want to go see. It's not entertainment. I don't want to be reminded about the fucking Iraq war at the movies. I go to the movies for escape. The Iraq war, tangent here for a second. The Iraq war was the greatest foreign policy blunder in easily my lifetime. Easily my father's lifetime, frankly. It There was no justification for it. All the justification for this war on terror shit was 9/11. Iraq had not a goddamn thing to do with 9/11. There was no justification for it. And as we're discovering here, it turns out Iraq was the one thing kind of sort of holding that region together. You had a largely secular dictatorship. It was holding places like Iran in check. It was holding a lot of elements of radical Islam in check. The Middle East is burning right now, in large part due to the removal of Saddam Hussein. So not only was America completely unjustified in going there on a strictly moral level, it was also incredibly foolish at a pragmatic level. It was counterproductive to our stated goals. I don't even pretend to know why the hell America wanted to go in there. People say, oh, Bush wanted to avenge his father, or shit like that. I don't know what the hell his motivation was. Because I can't even begin to fathom why somebody would be that stupid. I was like 19 when we started talking about going in Iraq, and I knew fucking better. I was like, that's wrong and stupid. So yeah, I don't particularly want to hear about the damn Iraq war. It's not entertainment to me. And I don't give a fuck about Chris Kyle. I don't hate Chris Kyle. I'm not like Chris Kyle was a war criminal. No. But I'm not prepared to call Chris Kyle a hero either. I gotta watch how I say this because I don't want to offend people. But on a strictly visceral, instinctful, reptilian hindbrain level, snipers don't hit the hero vibe in me that much. They don't hit the glorious battle, They're not storming the beaches of Normandy. They're hiding in a little position and shooting people who they never look in the eye, or at least the person never looks them in the eye. It's that primal part in me doesn't feel it's that honorable, and I'm not saying it's an invalid tactic or it's a war crime or any shit like that. If I was the president and there was somebody, we were at war and snipers would be a major weapon I'd use. If I was at war with another country, I would primarily try and attack the politicians. If possible, I would get a sniper to assassinate any and all. And you say, well, that's a war crime. Well, I don't view it that way. To me, making the leaders actually shed the blood in a war seems a lot more morally just than making peons shed it. So yeah, I'm not saying snipers is bad. What I'm saying is it's not going to appeal to that. On a strictly entertainment value, I should say. It doesn't necessarily appeal as much to the sense of glory and shit like that. Plus, Chris Kyle seemed like a bit of an asshole, from what I know of him. I know there was a dust-up he had with Ventura, and I don't know the exact details on it. But for the most part, I kind of like Jesse Ventura. And I could be wrong, but wait. But I sort of side with him a little bit in this. I suspect a lot of the people attacking Ventura on this are people that, I see a lot of neocons, a lot of hawks attacking him, and they're just the same people who attacked him because he believes 9/11's an inside job, and he thinks the war on terror is complete horseshit and all that other stuff. I suspect the people attacking him on this Chris Kyle dust-up, on his feud with Chris Kyle, are attacking him for that reason. Could be wrong. The big point is, though, again, I don't hate Chris Kyle. I'm not condemning him as a villain, but I'm not really ready to celebrate him as a hero. But the right wing certainly is. Especially the neocons certainly are just lining up to suck the guy's dick. And it really shows something that's much more interesting than Chris Kyle himself. It really shows that there's two blind spots, really. There's a blind spot with the right when it comes to big government. Oh, big government's bad, big government's bad. But man, when it's about the military, they can't suck its dick enough. Give you an example. I almost hate to say this because it sounds like I'm defending Obama, and Obama can suck my cock. But the right always says Obama has cut military spending numerous times. To the best of my knowledge, that's not true. At least in most of those cases. You could show maybe there was one time what happened. But it's not true. What Obama did was he decreased the rate of increase. Now, the right, this is a tactic the left likes to use. The left will be like, that governor cut education when he really just didn't increase it as much as we originally intended to. But it still went up, spending still went up from the previous year. And the left will call that a cut. And there's many people on the right who will claim bullshit on that. Rightfully so, because that's not a cut. That's still an increase. They will claim bullshit on that. I'd say that wasn't even a cut. But then when Obama does it to the military, suddenly it is a cut. He's gutting our military. Military spending still going up every fucking year. Every fucking year. Still going up. He's gutting our military, America. Same way with the cops, by the way. Always the right wing never fails to take the cop side in any kind of question of police brutality. And I know there's a lot of police brutality incidences coming to the forefront in the news right here recently that are bullshit. Okay, the Mike Brown thing is bullshit. Based on everything I see, it seems like this was an out-of-control fucking animal, and I really think the cop was completely justified in using the force he did against him. The shit up in New York where the guy got choked to death for selling loose cigarettes, that's kind of horseshit. But again, it sort of shows the hypocrisy of the left. Like, fucking de Blasio wants to whine like, oh, the cops, and he's hanging these cops out to dry, when all they're doing is enforcing the insane tobacco laws leftists like de Blasio so strongly support. You can't want draconian government and then be mad that your stormtroopers are enforcing it. Which, by the way, the police brutality issue is a perfect example of both how the left and the right in this country completely missed the point. The right wing wants to be like, the government's bad, but cops are our friends. And the left wants to think the cops are evil, but the government, whose will the cops are enforcing, is somehow benevolent. Neither one of these positions makes any damn sense. But getting back to the original point, this is what pisses me off about Chris Kyle. Chris Kyle is at best a mixed bag. He's no fucking hero. But the right just can't wait to suck his dick enough. Because they just fucking love the military. They just got a military boner. And they got a cop boner too. And conservatives and this even goes for some right-leaning libertarians, you will never, ever be able to fight for small government until you get over your cop and military fetishes. Period. You got to get the fuck over it. Alright? Knock it off with the flag-waving bullshit. Knock it off with the thin blue line and support the troops, America shit. And I'm not saying... There's a difference between respecting authority and sucking its dick. Alright? There's a difference between respecting authority and blind naivety towards it. I'm not saying fuck the troops, alright? Yeah, our government has misused the troops. They've sent them off to fight pointless fucking wars. And there are legitimate questions on how guilty, in an illegitimate war, how guilty are the troops? I'm not going to say blameless, but no, obviously the main guilt lies with those who orchestrate the wars. But yes, I want there to be a strong military. I want us to have a military that's so strong that when someone fucks with us, when we have legitimate cause to use them, we can go and fucking annihilate our enemy. That's what I want. I don't want policing the world bullshit. I don't want militarism. I don't want fucking us running a gulag down in Cuba. Alright? I don't want the Patriot Act and shit like that. I don't want that mentality. And yeah, there needs to be cops. But cops are only going to be as good as the government they serve. Alright? We need to get the government under control. Cops are just an enforcement arm of the government. So pull your heads out of your asses on this, conservatives. Don't walk around thinking the government is bad, but somehow the troops and the cops aren't. And no, they're not all bad. Don't give me there's plenty of great men, and there's probably more good men in the military than in the police force. But yeah, there's plenty of good men. But that doesn't change the fact that there's systematic problems here. And you need to stop being blind to it. Yes, I know military people who serve. My dad was in the Navy for 20 years. And I have friends that are currently in the service. And they're great stand-up guys. But I don't automatically assume someone is fucking blameless just because they're in a uniform. And neither should you. It's funny. My dad actually retired from 20 years in the Navy. I think it was the summer of '96. I mentioned, we went to the movies a lot, him and I. Man, I think it was I'm pretty sure it was summer '90. That was Independence Day was out that summer, wasn't it? Yeah, '96. We saw every damn movie that was out that year. Because he had 4 months vacation time that he had saved up right at the end of his term. So he had that entire summer off with me. It was a great summer. But yeah, he wants to see American Sniper. Because again, God bless him, he has the military boner. Right? He refuses, and he's not even for these wars. He agrees with me that the Iraq War was a fucking disaster. But he just can't accept criticism of the troops at all. I mean, it took him a long time to accept that Abu Ghraib shit was stuff that shouldn't have happened. It's just a blind spot they have, and you guys are going to have to get over it. Don't every time when I point to police brutality, real cases, not Mike Brown bullshit. But when I point to cases of police brutality, right when people are like, well, if you don't like the cops, who you gonna call at 3 a.m. when somebody's kicking your door in? It's probably going to be the cops kicking my door in at the rate this country's going. Who am I supposed to call then? Alright. Other thing going on here recently. I'm probably not going to spend too much time on this, but I think it's worth talking about. Is this little MGTOW civil war, for lack of a better term. MGTOW, which I assume all of you listening to this know what it is, but it's men going their own way. That's the acronym. And it's frankly brilliant. I'm not much of an MRA type guy, because I think you don't run to the powers that be and plead for your rights. Your rights are yours. God give it. You take them. And that's what MGTOW is. MGTOW is saying, hey, this game is rigged against me. I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I've had enough of this. I'm gonna do my own thing. And I got a little bit of the MGTOW in me myself. I'm a nerd, obviously, but I've long ago stopped giving a shit about being a nerd. As I'm recording this right now, I'm playing Smash Brothers. But not really playing Smash Brothers so much as I'm amiibo cockfighting. I just got a new amiibo, the Princess Peach amiibo, and I'm basically just leveling her up. I'm having her fight 4 other amiibos quietly with the sound off while I'm doing this. And amiibos are really cool, by the way. I was resistant to these things. I got the Samus one because I had $13 store credit. Actually, you know what? I'm talking about MGTOW. What the hell am I'm getting on? Amiibos are cool. I'll talk about them later. Let's get back to MGTOW. But the point is, I'm sitting here playing fucking amiibos while I'm talking to you. Because I don't give a shit. I'm a nerd, alright? These are the things I like. They're fucking cool. I don't care if they're not popular. I don't care if it's not going to get me laid and shit like that. I don't give a shit. So yeah, that men going their own way. It's not about... People think men going their own way is about, oh, I don't want anything to do with women anymore. No, it's about counting the cost. That's what it is. It's about saying, like, this is what I'm willing to put up with from a woman. And this is what the hoops I'm willing to jump through for a woman. And if it costs too much, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to go after it. Plenty of things I'd like, but they fucking cost too much, alright? Trust me, I'm a nerd. There's plenty of expensive shit I'd like to get, but it just costs too much. I count the cost, say it's not worth it. That's what MGTOW guys do. And for the vast majority of women in America, I shouldn't say a vast majority, but a great deal of the women in the West in America right now, it's not worth the bullshit. It's not worth the bullshit. I would love to find a good wife, right? Would love practically nothing more. Find a good woman to be my partner in life. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna support each other. And when we're old and gray, we're gonna hold hands and stare at the sunset and peacefully meet our makers. That's the ideal. Would love that. But I haven't encountered that woman yet. And just because I want that doesn't mean I'm going to try and get a replacement for it. I'm an only child, and I've obviously been an awkward kid growing up. I've had very close friends, pretty much all my life. I've had a few close friends, but not many friends. And that's how I am now, because I've long ago decided that solitude is preferable to bad company. I would rather be alone than be around people that suck. Because solitude has its own joys, has its own treasures. Bad company doesn't. That's what real MGTOW is, alright? And I'm not MGTOW because I've never gotten laid, alright? For being an awkward nerd, I've had my share. I'm amazed looking back at how well I did as a young man, knowing nothing of things like game. Man, if I knew now what I knew then, or if I knew then what I know now, I meant, holy crap. But yeah, that's what MGTOW is. And the reason I bring all this up is Aaron Clary had a video recently where he basically said that there's a lot of MGTOW guys who are only quote-unquote MGTOW because they're completely dateless losers, and rather than improve themselves so that they can actually attract a woman, they say fuck it because they're losers. They just don't want to put the effort in. They don't want to. And he's right. There's always going to be posers like that shit. Always. Alright? And a lot of people attacked him. And by and large, the people that attacked him were probably, by and large, not all of them, by and large, are probably just oversensitive because he was fucking right. So yeah, that's what brought it up. So really, quintessentially what MGTOW is it's deciding that solitude is preferable to bad company. Just a little over a year ago, I had a friend who literally wanted to set me up with this friend of his who had just gotten her dumbass knocked up. He's like, oh, you haven't had you're looking for a woman? Well, she's... No, absolutely not. I have fucking standards. I'm not dating a single mom. By the way, knocked up and she... Oh, little break in this. Son of a bitch. The damn thing cut out on me. But I'll just sew these parts together, so no big deal. Apologize for the hiccup here. But yeah, anyways, buddy of mine tried to set me up with this girl. Knocked up, and then, she wants to keep it, because that's going to work out great. And as far as I'm concerned, that's trash. I want nothing to do with that. So no, I'm not, and she wasn't even that good looking to begin with. Even before the baby. But even if she'd have been a fucking 10, no, ain't worth the bullshit. I'm not going to help some whore raise her mistake. Alright? And that's part of what being MGTOW is. That's the idea there. I have standards, and I'm going to live up to these standards. Period. And a woman that comes in my life is going to live up to these standards, or I'll be alone. It's just about knowing what you're willing to put up with, what level of bullshit is acceptable to you. And if not, do your own thing. It's about reprioritizing. This is what I want. I'm going to get what I want out of life to the best of my ability. Alright, so, boy, I hope I can put this together right. I've never sewn a podcast together in 2 bits like this. I'm sure it'll be fine. I gotta learn video editing. By the way, that's one of my resolutions. I want to improve the quality of my videos. Everything I record is just, stream of consciousness, because I don't know jack shit when it comes to editing. I suck at editing. So that's my pledge to you, my 9 fans out there. I'm gonna figure out video editing. I'm gonna improve the quality of my shit. Up in my game this year. Last year, I hadn't even started this channel, and my idea at the beginning of the year was I want to start a YouTube channel and build up a little bit of following. I have built up a small but reasonably loyal following. Also got the job at Reaction, paid writing gig over there. So it's been a pretty good year for me. I intend to expand some more this year. Alright, almost got sidetracked in the middle of that MGTOW joke, but I'm gonna, Amiibos. The little figurines that Nintendo has. I didn't think I wanted to get in on these at first. Like, I don't know, what's it really do? But I got the Samus one, because I happen to have $13 store credit. They're $12.99, so the guy was like, I call it even at my local used game store. I don't really do the chains. I like the local guys because they do retro stuff. So I got Samus because I've been big on the Metroid games lately. And then a buddy of mine got me Kirby for Christmas. And then another buddy of mine got me Link and Yoshi. And then I just went out and bought Mario and Peach here recently. So I've gotten sucked into it. And I also want to get Mega Man, and I want to get Pac-Man when they come out. Because how often do you see a cool little Pac-Man statue? And I mean, you rarely see a cool little bit of Mega Man merchandise, but really rarely for Pac-Man. And they look great. The sculpts is the best thing you got going for them. I do think Nintendo's got to do more with these things. As of right now, I mean, they're moderately amusing in Smash, and they kind of sort of do shit in Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors, but even that is meh. So yeah, I think we got to do more with these, Nintendo. But I mean, maybe just an purely amiibo based game, something along those lines, or just some extra features. Like let's say you got the new next time you do a 2D Mario game. If I have the Peach amiibo, maybe I can play as Peach. You know, and maybe if I'm playing as Peach, then the game reverts to I'm saving Daisy. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, Nintendo. But I actually kind of like playing as Peach in the Mario games, by the way. Like, suck on that, Anita. You know, oh, I'm a sexist gamer. No, I kind of like playing as Peach. I always did in Mario 2 back when I was a kid, because she got that floaty power. And, same thing in Super Mario 3D World on my Wii U. And at this point, there's a certain novelty factor, because you almost never get to play as Peach. So it was kind of cool playing as Peach in the Mario 3D World. She had a different, like, color dress and all, when she had the fire power and all that stuff. It was cool. I liked it. You know, I don't have to play as a character. A lot of my friends, like, they have to see themselves as a character when I play, and I'm almost the opposite. Like when you got a game that's a build a character type thing, like Saints Row 2. I rarely make a character in Saints Row 2 that is like me. In fact, the character I made the first time I played through Saints Row 2, which, by the way, Saints Row 2 is a fantastic game if you never played it. It's a better Grand Theft Auto game than any Grand Theft Auto game. But the first character I made was a hot redhead chick, because I loves me some redheads. If I'm going to stare at a character for however many hours, might as well be somebody hot. But there was also a line of thinking in there. I was thinking, you know, there was an old joke, I think it was Dave Chappelle, that said, when you see a bunch of ghetto black guys and there's one white guy in the group, he's the most dangerous motherfucker in that group, because the shit he had to do to earn them guys' respect. And that was my line of thinking. Here's this unassuming little redhead chick. Well, in her own way, she's got to be the most dangerous motherfucker if she's leading this gang. So that was my line of thinking. Plus, hey, I wanted to stare at a hot redhead. I did other things as I played through multiple times. Like I had this huge black guy with a British accent at one point. It's that sort of thing. But I rarely make it me. It doesn't need to be me. I'm telling myself a story. I'm not so fucking narcissistic that it's gotta be me, or I can't. You know, I can imagine what it's like to be other types of people. Yeah, I don't have first-hand existential knowledge of it, but I can at least, I'm capable of enough empathy, I can at least project somewhat onto that. But anyways, yeah, amiibos. I mean, they're cool as hell, they'd almost be worth getting just for the statue thing, but yeah, I do think Nintendo needs to do a bit more with them. And I hope Nintendo does a bit more with them. While we're on the subject of Nintendo, it was announced this past month that, I think it was this past month, sometime in December, I believe, that Sony is working on a Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, if you're my age, you probably flash back to the, let's be generous and say odd, Super Mario Bros. Live action movie. And probably don't have very good feelings about it. I, however, am very cautiously optimistic on this, because they're doing it animated. And the Super Mario Bros. Animated movie could be, and I stress that, could be absolutely awesome. Could be a complete train wreck, but it could be absolutely awesome. The potential is there, and I hope it's awesome. I want Nintendo to stop being so gun-shy about its properties. Stop being so damn protective. You know, there's no reason we couldn't have a Super Mario Bros. Animated movie. There's no reason we can't have a Mario Bros. Comic. Which, by the way, if you haven't, go to MarioComics.com. If you're a Mario fan, and check out Daniel Barnes' Mario comic that he just made, like fan-made comic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely professional quality. I could see it published at Archie or IDW. It's just fantastic. And there's no reason Nintendo shouldn't do stuff like this. Shouldn't do more stuff like that. You know, a Zelda cartoon or comic book. Or hell, Zelda would even lend itself to a live-action movie, in my opinion. Metroid cartoon comic, even live-action movie. Certainly animated movie. Yeah, these things would all work fine in that regard. So everyone's like, oh, Mario Brothers movie, it's going to suck just like the last one. I don't think so. It might. It might absolutely suck giant donkey dick. But I'm cautiously optimistic that it could be awesome. And I hope it's awesome. I genuinely want it to be. I love me some Mario. Would love nothing more than it to be awesome. Alright, moving on. What else? What else I got here? I got this giant ass list of shit. I know I'm not going to get to all this crap. The PC Master Race desktop. What is it even saying? PC gamers like, oh, we're the PC Master Race. Fuck you, PC gamers. No, I'm not a big PC gamer myself. I guess I'm just a Nintendo fag. But that's what they say, because, oh, we got the better graphics. We're the quote-unquote better gaming. And in some regards, they certainly are, objectively speaking. And, of course, some faggot SJW over at one of these websites. It's racist and Nazis. My pussy hurts. So we all have a good laugh. This is what I love about Gamergate. It shifted the momentum. Time was, like, this idiot could have gotten real traction on this crap. And now we're just all laughing at him. God bless it. What else is there to say on that? PC Master Race, you know. Yeah, because white Nazis are the only people who ever used the term Master Race. That have ever been fucking racist. Man, I got a long ass fucking list of shit here, and I'm not gonna do all this crap. I wrote down a little list, like, pedo state shit. I already talked about that. I already did a video about that. I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know, it's fucking depressing. Who cares if we covered up for child rapists in football? It's just, depressing as shit. DC doing a new Power Girl. Power Girl. Okay. Power. You know what? This is actually something interesting to talk about. Because it kind of shows how odd comics can be. What is Power Girl? You may, if you're not a huge comic fan, just a casual comic fan, you probably have no idea what this character is. It's a character DC has had a hard time knowing what to do with for the longest time. Because she has a rather complicated origin, but it's not too complicated. DC tends to underestimate the selling ability here. You know what Supergirl is? Supergirl is Superman's cousin who also survived Krypton. You know? And it's a teenage girl with Superman powers. Okay, pretty self-explanatory, right? You know what Power Girl is? Power Girl is Supergirl from a parallel universe, and that universe was destroyed. And now she lives in this universe. So she's not only the last survivor of a planet, but of a universe. That's all you need to know. She's an older parallel universe version of Supergirl. It's not that fucking complicated. Alright? It's really not. DC has such a hard time knowing what to do with her. Because they're just afraid of quote-unquote complicated origins like that. No, the 90s Supergirl, that's fucking complicated. Alright? That thing where it's alien protoplasm, shape-shifting protoplasm from a pocket dimension, but then something about an angel. That's... I'm an old hat at this shit. I have a hard time following what's going on with that one. But no, Power Girl's not complicated. But anyways, DC making a new Power Girl. Because DC sucks balls right now. I don't know if you knew this, but DC sucks balls. DC is running itself into the dirt. They have no idea what they're doing. And now they thought, hey, even though Gamergate has put, has delivered a death blow to these people within nerd culture, let's appeal to the PC crowd some more. Let's shuffle the normal Power Girl off into the corner and get rid of her, and instead have some black chick. Oh, and by the way, Power Girl's costume, again, if you don't know, it's like a full body suit. It comes up to her neck, but there's a hole in the middle of her chest that shows her cleavage. Now, the quote-unquote reason for this is she doesn't have a symbol yet. She feels like she hasn't earned her own symbol, so she leaves it blank. But also, it's fucking cool looking. Hey, look, boobs. Everybody fucking loves boobs. Don't tell me women are fucking offended by it. Because women, any woman who can remotely pull it off, and many that can't, cosplay as Power Girl all the time. So no, feminists. Women don't fucking hate it. But feminists fucking hate it. Because feminists are disgusting creatures, and they hate beauty. So they fucking hate it. So now there's some black chick in a boring-ass costume who's calling herself Power Girl. And feminists, Fucking the Mary Sue.com creamed its pants over it. Like, yay! She's not white or sexy. It's two things we hate are gone. White people and sexy. Fucking DC. I miss DC Comics. I really do. This New 52 shit sucks so much balls. It's so awful. I miss DC, man. I was always more of a Marvel fan, but man, right before the relaunch, the few years before it, DC had never been better in my lifetime. Arguably, for a couple generations before that, DC had never been better. And now it's garbage. It's just fucking garbage. Marvel ain't doing that well right now, I mean, creatively speaking. Somebody actually asked me on my Ask FM, like, what comics out there right now do you think are just amazing? None of them. There's nothing out there right now that I think is incredible. Let me put it that way. I mean, there's really good comics out there. You know, the Mega Man comic, oddly enough, is fantastic, all ages fun. The Spider-Verse storyline going on in Spider-Man, it's good. You know, the Avengers books are good. Daredevil's pretty good right now. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff over at Marvel, not so much over at DC. But nothing just great. Nothing where I'm like, man, like years from now, this is going to be a classic. I'm going to have on my bookshelf in trade paperback, maybe hardcover format. Nothing like that right now. I'm sorry to say. And I'm not like comics are dead or any melodramatic shit like that. DC kind of is. But just nothing great right now. It's kind of sad. DC's really dragging the company as a whole down. DC only survives to this clickbait bullshit like the new Power Girl or speculator bullshit like the 3D covers. Nobody fucking likes DC anymore. They can't sell anything but Batman anymore. Alright. One last thing I want to talk about. Hopefully this podcast comes out right. God damn it. A fucking computer accidentally paused on me. I was talking for like 5 minutes before I noticed it. Pissed me off. But this week has sucked, man. This past 2 weeks, actually. I had to work weekend at my day job because we were moving. I work at a warehouse. That's all you need to know. None of nobody's business beyond that, but I work at a warehouse. And we had to move. And we only moved right down the road. Same area, same business park. But we had to move. And it sucked. Because moving an apartment is a fucking ordeal, let alone a warehouse. But it wasn't that bad, really, given what it was. It was just I had to do 12 hours Saturday and 8 on Sunday. But then when we moved into a new place, we have been having technical issues out the fucking ass. IT has spent all week just putting out fires. For whatever reason, the little wizard that lives in your computer and makes it run, he's pissed off about the move over at my company. And IT has just been putting out fires left and right. So yeah, it's been a rough week. So yeah, I'm already a little pissed off, and then I have a little technical issue here. Which hopefully turns out fine for you. A little gap in the middle, oh well. A little hiccup there. But anyways, last thing I want to talk about is social gaming and how it's kind of dead. And don't give me this bullshit. Well, there's online gaming, and I game online with my friends all the time, baby. Fuck you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm about real social gaming. New Year's Day, I had a friend of mine come over, and we played Mario Kart for several hours, and then, that was it. They just hung out for a while. It's so fucking rare when that happens anymore. I got 2 friends in my circle of friends who will come over and play Mario Kart. The rest of them are playing, I don't know, bullshit on PS4, Destiny or some shit. But even with that, even put aside what we're playing, they're all we're playing together. You're all sitting in your different basements with your little headsets on. Whatever happened to, hanging out and just... That's why I love games like Mario Kart and Mario Party, because you come over and you hang out and you have, some pizza or beer and soda and shit, and you just fucking hang out together, face to face. I fucking miss that. Online gaming is killing that. But I guess I sound like some old fart. Monday! But I miss that so much. Same with like fighting games. I mean, so many good times playing like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, or even playing some of those crappy wrestling games on the PS2. And I don't see that anymore. It's all just online shit. So yeah, that's my opinion. Online gaming has killed real social gaming anymore. And it's a shame. Ooh, finally got my Peach up to level 50. My amiibos. That's the other thing that kind of sucks about the amiibos. They max out at level 50. Now they can still learn. They can still, quote unquote, be built up. You can feed them new moves and but they max out at level 50, and they level up at least once per match. Early on, they're leveling like 3 or 4 times per match. So you max them out in no time. No time. All of the ones I have are maxed out level-wise. And I haven't, some of these I've only had, Peach I've only had, shit. I got Peach yesterday. Now yeah, I've been amiibo cockfighting her. But still, there's almost no grind in getting these things leveled out. The sculpts on them are gorgeous. I almost wish I was on camera right now. That's how gorgeous they just look fantastic. Well, that's all I got for this week. As always, folks, thanks for listening.